What's up, guys? This is a game that just came out called Firewatch. I started playing it to see how it would go. I read some reviews before I actually started it saying that there was performance issues, so I just wanted to check if that was going to be an issue before I started recording, but I'll go ahead and start a new game here. I'll leave that. Start one here. So far, it's pretty good. I'm really eager to see how this goes. I've been excited for this game for like a while. I think they announced it like 2 years ago. They've been working on it for like 2 years. It's pretty awesome. I'm probably not going to talk much during this because it's kind of more of like a, I don't know, it's like a exploration, kind of like experience kind of game. You're supposed to like, I don't know, pay attention and stuff. So, you see Julia. This part's kind of sad too. I'm not going to read these because there's a ton of these. So, I'll just let these hang for like a little bit, and if you missed one, you can just go back and pause it. I'm drunk, and now I have to pick what I want to say. I'll just say she's pretty. I believe I'm like in college at this point in the game, like I'm still in school. Okay, so I date Julia for over a year. She drives me nuts, it's great. Julia wants to get a dog. There's a scruffy, undersized beetle. Share an apartment, in love with it. She wants to bring it with her to class. There's also an intimidating but gentle-eyed German Shepherd. Nothing bad could happen to Julia for walking. I actually played through this before, and later on, well, actually, I don't want to spoil it, but I'm going to pick the German Shepherd. Man's an excellent dog. He loves wrestling with you. In parts, goes on runs with Julia, but is too big to bring to school. We talked on the deck. It's 1979, and the heat still radiates off the high desert. What do you think about kids? She asks. Kids? They're not very smart, or did it much. I'm saying if you and I had a couple little idiots, I said that'd be pretty good. In that case, we should probably get married. Yeah, I would like that, you say. Kids are going to be screwed up. We should probably be married before we have them, is what she says. You say that's absolutely right. And here I am in the Wyoming wilderness. For some reason, people were complaining about like frame rate issues, but so far I haven't dipped below 30 ever. So I don't know what they're talking about. People were saying they were getting like 15, 20 frames per second. It's a Thursday night, and Julia is out for hours. She doesn't call, you're worried, you're getting angry. She walks in after I go to bed. She's not quite drunk, but she's clearly been having fun. You fight when she gets in between the sheets. What do? Do I get mad, or do I ignore her? I'm just going to ignore her, because the first time I got mad, and that didn't go so well. You don't touch each other all night. The next week you feel guilty for being so angry, and ask her about her evening. She says it was great. You hold on to a tiny pill of resentment. Okay. You made some coffee and go to work. It's 1981 now. Julia still likes to draw. She draws plants from her research. And the places you go, she draws you. You pose and flex like a He-Man, or I frolic like a Victoria's Secret model. I'm going to frolic like a Victoria's Secret model. Julia was right. You are very pretty. I am very pretty. That's what that means. It's kind of like in a third person, kind of. And here I am. I believe this is like in the future, kind of. So like, this happens after all of these things with Julia. It's 1982. During the summers, you and Julia enjoy walking. Mayhem at night. There's a festival in town. It brings folks from far away places. One of them tries to mug you with a knife. Mayhem runs away. Julia yells. She gets flustered. She has trouble speaking when she's stressed. You confront the attacker. You beat his goddamn face in. Your arm gets cut up, but you beat the guy to a pulp. You don't feel very tough. You cry your eyes out before the cops show up. You end up taking a different path every time you walk from then on out. It's now 1984. Plans to have kids get waylaid by work. Julia gets offered a job in Yale. Yale is in Connecticut, 2,000 miles away. It's a great job, associate department chair. She wants to move. You absolutely don't. I'm gonna convince her not to. You tell her that this means you won't have a family. She says that's bullshit. She's totally right. She asks if you would come with her. You say, okay, so she asks, if the job means you won't come with her, you say yes. Again, bullshit. But she decides not to take it. Which is actually good, because later on something terrible happens. Julia is asked to leave Boulder on paid leave for having an episode. She lost it on a colleague for borrowing books that were important for her research. She didn't remember she had happily loaned them to him just 2 days prior. She was found crying in the stairwell. You say maybe you guys should talk to someone about it. You make macaroni and drink wine and forget about it. That one's better. It works, see. You watch Dallas on TV and sleep together on the couch. Here I am back in the woods. Open up this. And this part's kind of cool, I believe, because when she draws you, see, now I've been drawn like a Victoria's Secret model rather than a big man, which I am. I'm a big man in this game. Mayhem is getting older. She's got silver hair down. He's got silver hair down his back, and slows down at night. You and Julia walk him to the bar to see her friends, and it feels like nothing has changed. Julia goes back to the university. So the dog is old. Julia's affliction gets worse. She can't remember things in her class. Her research is in shambles. She drives her car to the next town over for no particular reason and has to be brought home by the police. She's devastated. She's permanently sent home for medical reasons. Some days you get the Julia who calls you a dope and and your unborn children little idiots. Other days you get a stranger. She pulls you into bed, and after 5 minutes she goes into a panic, believing her dad is at the door. You tell her family they are crushed and begin to make trips from their home in Australia to visit her. You spend your days following Julia around the house. You count the seconds between 2 weekly visits from Daniel, the nurse. He suggests that Julia could live somewhere else, somewhere with 24-hour care, a home. It sits with you for a couple months. You decide to move her into a full-time care facility. That's what I would do. For the most part during this game, if you guys do like these videos, for the most part during this game, decisions that I make will be as close as possible. Well, I'm going to try to make decisions that are the closest to decisions that I would actually make in real life. Like if that option is like available. Her family agrees with your decision. You find a fantastic place in Boulder and move her there. You see her every day, then every other day. You start to see her less often. You go to the bar with your friends. It's not the same. You get the feeling that every wife tells her husband, if you ever put me in a home like Henry did, I will cut your balls off. You slowly decide not to see your old friends that much. Julia's sister Susan moves to Boulder to be close to her sister. She visits her every day. You go with her sometimes. Susan buys you an old typewriter and urges you to use it. You won't see her if you won't see a therapist. You won't. You've always really liked Susan, which makes me nervous. Months go by. Mayhem dies. Julia doesn't remember him when you tell her. Sometimes it takes a minute for her to lock in on you. In the back of your mind, you believe it's because you see her less and less, and seeing her less and less makes her forget you more, you think. Summer's coming and you see an ad in the paper for a job. You take it. And that is why I become a fire watchman. That's the reason that this entire thing begins. I'm really eager to see how this goes. I think it's like a mystery game. And I'm kind of excited to play through this. I'm going to do 2 different playthroughs. One that I'm going to play in my personal time because I want to experience it for myself first. And then once I've experienced it for myself, I will play through it on here so that you guys can see it if you guys do like these videos. If not, this will just be like a one-time deal, but I think it's an awesome game. So let's see, I'm going to turn on the generator, get some lights up in this bitch, grab this radio.
Hello, Two Forks Tower.
And this is like your boss. And so you speak to her. Her name is Delilah. You speak to her through this radio during the entire game.
Hello? Whoever this is?
It's Henry, right?
Yeah.
I'm Delilah.
Yeah, that's what the guy said on the phone.
So, what's wrong with you?
Excuse me?
People take this job to get away from something.
That is
So
true.
what's wrong?
What's wrong with you?
That's a great idea. Go ahead.
Look, I just hiked for 2 days, so I don't really follow whatever it is you're doing.
I'm trying to get away from my delusional
You
wife.
take
Is what I'm
us
trying to
down
do.
What's wrong with me?
Fine, then can I sleep forever?
Sure.
I really like the art style in this game. It's like semi-realistic, but then like your character kind of reminds me of like Wreck-It Ralph. His hands are really square and stuff. Okay, you've killed 3 ex-husbands.
Okay, you've killed 3 husbands. You're a black widow, and you're just out here until the heat dies down, and then you'll kill again.
Ooh, very good. Bravo, Henry.
Okay, I sleep now?
Not quite. Now you.
Okay, good night, bye.
Let's see. I don't know anything about you. I say you got fired
Physics.
from your job and have finally decided to write your novel. That's the sort of bullshit reason you'll find a man out in the woods.
Good night.
Welcome to the job.
Firewatch. It's a really interesting idea that all of the interaction that you have during this game comes from a radio, speaking to a woman you've never actually met before.